All right, guys, we got to talk about it. What is going on with these teams? Every team you see on here had a preseason win total expectation of 7.5 or above. So they're pretty much saying that, yeah, they're pretty safe to make a bowl. I'm not confident any of these teams are making bowls at this point. Florida State has to be the worst one of all of these. And what in God's name is going on there? Their strengths were supposed to be the lines of scrimmage, which is usually what wins you games in college football. They're abysmal. And they have athletes, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And they're not getting it done. Their receivers have bricks for hands. The quarterbacks aren't getting the job done. They're moving on from DJ. They're doing Brock Glenn. They've tried Chromanoke. Like, they've tried it all. And man, nothing is working there. They are just in a really bad place. On top of that, the recruiting class is falling apart. They've lost 3 or 4 blue chip guys over the past 6 to 8 weeks. And if they're going to continue going down this road, they're going to really struggle. USC and Oklahoma, like the irony that both of these teams are in the same place, but for different reasons. Oklahoma is their offense. They cannot get it figured out on offense. Now, I think Oklahoma is in a little bit better place than USC because Oklahoma has been really got hit by the injury bug really, really bad. They are out pretty much all of their receivers. Their quarterbacks, I think they're going to have to go into the portal to get one next year. But I think there's more solvable issues for them than there is at USC. USC, I don't know what's going on. Their defense looks a little better, but man, they are just in a slump where they just can't win games. They've been winning games in the games, and then they blow leads, and they just can't close the deal. They just lost to Maryland, lost to Minnesota, lost to Penn State. Like, they have just not been looking good at all. And I don't know what's fixable there because for their recruiting, they need to dominate the Southern California and the West Coast recruiting landscape, and they have not done that under Lincoln Riley. And really before Lincoln Riley's tenure either. Oregon has come there and just absolutely raided them. And they're not competitive in the recruiting landscape out west and not where they need to be. So I'm a little bit more concerned for USC than I am for Oklahoma. But man, both these teams are really, really down bad. NC State had a win total of, I believe, 8.5 going into the year. They're supposed to be a threat to compete for the ACC championship. Grayson McCall was supposed to be their guy. Nothing. These guys are awful. They are abysmal. So and their defense who used to be like their rock solid, entry point, and they're say you play NC State and their defense will strangle you a little bit. Even that hasn't been really great this year. So they have really, really struggled. And then if we look at the Big 12, you got Utah entering in their first year. They were favorites to win the conference. And we know how that's going. I think they're 1-3 in conference. And then Oklahoma State wasn't too far behind. I think they're like third, fourth to win the conference. And Ollie Gordon, that was supposed to be their workhorse and their guy that was going to lead them to promised land. He has been invisible. Not to his fault necessarily entirely. Their offensive line has really, really struggled all year. But these two teams and like whatever has been going on with Cam Rising just needs to stop. So done with the whole Cam Rising thing. Obviously, we saw Andy Ludwig leave. So like, what's really going on at that program right now at Utah? And then Michigan, the fall from grace has been ugly. I think everyone expected them to have a little bit of a fall, but truthfully, I did not expect this. They had a win total of 9 entering in the year. I thought that they can go over or at least match that. They're not going to come close, and they might not make a bowl. And their offense looks horrible. Their defense has taken a step back, as we expected. So, but even their defense took more of a step back than I had expected. Their offense, they have just cannot figure it out. Their receivers haven't been very good. They can't throw the ball downfield to save their lives. And on top of that, if you're going to be one-dimensional, you have to be good at it. They're not even good at the run game anymore. So these teams have really fallen far short of their expectations, and we still got over a month to go left in the season. So I don't think really any of these teams are going to flip it around and turn it around this year, but they have some serious problems to address in the offseason and to get ready for the next year. Follow Big Body Ball CFB on all socials.